Spain have just been really fantastic doing one thing. Spain have transformed their football from tiki-taka to extreme possession of the ball. Now, the Spanish believe that in keeping the ball, they are actually restricting it from getting to the opponent. And once the opponent does not have the ball, the opponent certainly cannot hurt them. Other teams were setting up in different ways against the Spanish. It was only one team that the Spanish could not get a goal against in the entire tournament. That was Cape Verde. However, in the final, a lot of things happened that favored Spain tactically because Scaloni really did not get the memo. Now, let's start off from how Spain sought to literally build up. Spain were not waiting for extra time to try and push matters to penalties. They were on it from the get-go. So from the get-go, the team Argentina would have loved to go man-to-man, but there was something causing a free-man theory applying in the game. Get this. So constantly, Kubasi was having a lot of room to run with the ball. Why was it so? It was just because of the movement of Alex Baena. Now, the movement of Alex Baena was constantly in a curved motion and kept Montiel and Romero thinking. So two players on one and then leaves Kubasi free because Messi is trying to keep an eye on Emerick Laporte and you've got Julian Alvarez trying to keep an eye on Rodri. So now, Kubasi has the ball and he's in acres of space. He can move this ball anyhow. He can decide to just walk through the first line of press and nothing would happen, which he did a couple of times. But other times, he had this free channel going straight to the man, Dani Olmo. Now, ball gets to Dani Olmo. He has not just broken the first line of defense or presser for the Argentines. He has broken the second one as well because look at the orientation of Olmo requesting the ball. Directly gets to him. He beats the entire midfield and they are on like Donkey Kong. He gets this ball. He has an easy way to release it to Oyarzabal. Oyarzabal occasionally was able to get that ball over the top to Baena. Now, there was actually other things happening here. So he could also get the ball and decide to play it into Cucurella because Cucurella had acres of space. So this man-to-man marking that the Argentine team were trying to do was not working in the early part of the game. In fact, the entire 45 minutes, it did not work. Now, other things also sought to happen much later. So after possessing the ball, certainly they needed to create chances. How were they able to do so? Again, Alex Baena was one of the key people when it came to creating the chances. Anytime the ball got to him, he was actually able to just hold on to the ball, drag a couple of defenders onto him, and then he opens up a different space. So automatically, you've seen the likes of Ruiz now push beyond Alex Baena here, and he is open for the pass, which definitely gets to him. And you have Oyarzabal here again, running in those curved motions. Like I always say, if you are an attacker, attacking the box, you just need to go in front of the defender marking you. Why is it so? Any push, any form of contact, you fall, it's a penalty, right? Good. Now, he gets to continue that run in front of Martinez totally, and he always was getting a little bit of free room and was actually putting the pressure on the Argentines. But the Argentines also needed to respond in a way. They were sitting in a mid to low block 4-4-2, which was really being spearheaded by players who were literally not pressing. They were trying to shadow close all their passing angles, but were not doing it to great futurity. So what was happening was, most of the time, it left the pressure on their two center-backs. Their two center-backs, in this case, was in the person of, yes, that is Martinez, and certainly the other man, Romero. Now, Romero and Martinez has a special quality. They both have an impeccable quality. They have this quality of reading when to step back and start making the run on any of the Spanish players that were trying to beat the high line they had set. So constantly in that entire 45 minutes, they kept it under control. So what you normally get is anytime almost snaps up, Romero moves with him, Montiel comes here, and then DePaul is ready to track Cucurella in that position. In as much as Fabian Ruiz would open and opt for the ball. When he gets the ball here, by the time he turns, Romero would have actually backed up beyond the ball, and that gap will be closed. Sorry. So it was that kind of cat and mouse game going all through. But then again, still, these two gentlemen were really costing the team a lot than adding a lot to the team. Now we move it on and we get into the second half, and then again something really interesting happened. So in the second half, at that point, when things like this were happening, Tagliafico became only the defender who started the game for the Argentines. What happened? The other three defenders were substituted. Yes, the other three defenders were substituted. One for an injury, others also just for fresh legs. But this actually made it easy for the Spanish to just target that side of the pitch and constantly hit it. You get Kubasi hitting balls to Yamal, Yamal just taking runs at Tagliafico, almost just heading into that particular channel, and you had Paredes coming on, and Paredes, for a want of a better word, was really not just a pale shadow of himself. He was actually a poor player on the pitch, coming off the bench just to kick people. Look, the Argentines developed a strategy where they chose to be extremely physical. They want you to feel the pain, feel the sensation, but that was not the best way to defend against an extremely good technical and ball playing and ball possession side like the Spanish. So then a lot also continued to happen. The Argentines, at a point in time, even just went into a mushroom kind of situation where they have a 5-back and they had 3 people in midfield. Still, it was not really happening because they were getting cooked like never before. Now, when it comes to that particular goal and how things happen, again, the build-up came from this side of the pitch. They were targeting the most tired defender, hitting the most tired defender, and it eventually cracked and worked. So ball gets floated in, and definitely you get Williams. Yes, see acres of space. You've got a lot of defenders in the game, but they were swinging with the ball and not reading the game. Swinging with the ball and not reading the game. Allowing the man Torres acres of space. So Torres is literally around the penalty spot at this time. Ball gets headed back, and with any form of touch was definitely going to go into the goalpost. But one thing is, why I say Paredes was not just a pale shadow of himself, but an extremely poor version of himself on the day. Look at him and look at his body posture. He is at a flat-footed walking pace. He had no intention of running, and Simeone was literally caught back on his weak foot, and you would expect that Paredes would have been closing in. Despite the fact that Simeone is closest, Simeone would have kept his eye on Cucurella. So Paredes should have read this ball all through and had made that movement towards this part, but it was not to happen, and that was the undoing of the Argentines. Messi's name has not been mentioned in this particular tactical breakdown of the game because Messi literally went to sleep the entire game. Look, the Spanish really just took out Messi with this kind of play. They keep Messi on one of their weakest defenders in the entire tournament, which is Aymeric Laporte. Yeah, we know, Aymeric Laporte. So they keep their most skillfully blessed player on him, and then they allowed the very fluid Kubasi to initiate stuff and automatically take out the front two. Now, with this front two, you were expecting that Alvarez would give them the pace and then Messi would give them the intellect and skill. But why were these two starved of the ball? Because anytime the Spanish lose the ball in less than 10 seconds or between 10 and 13 seconds, the Spanish were snapping at the heels of the Argentines to get the ball off them. So there was little to no breathing room for the Argentines to actually try and create something for themselves. Someone would say, so what happens to the Argentine midfield, because they were actually very compact and have been compact throughout the tournament? Certainly so, sorry. But there was this constant overload happening in midfield, constantly, yeah, for large parts of the game. Spain went central because they kept on having a man advantage in midfield. They kept on having the situation of 3-2 in midfield. 3-2. Constantly kept on having that whole 3-2 in that midfield area. They constantly just kept having it 3-2 in that midfield area. But at certain points, the Argentines also noticed and tried to counter by also adding more bodies to make it 4-on-3. But it still did not work. Why? Because when it happens like that, they are leaving themselves short at the back, and just one ball over the top beats that whole box midfield they were trying to put together. That was the difference. And also, the rest defense of the Spanish was extremely, extremely well coordinated. And it made it difficult and starved out one of the greatest ever to play the game, Lionel Messi. So that's how Messi was taken out of the game, by starving him of service. Not that he was getting onto the ball and was getting tackled. No, he was not getting onto the ball. So he was allowed that respect and accorded that grace as one of the greatest to have played the game. But the ball to get to Messi was not available on the pitch. Much later, after the goal had gone in the extra time, dying embers of the game, Messi eventually got an opportunity to loft one cross into the penalty area that went over the bar, and got another one that also was headed into the grasp of the man Unai Simon. With this particular antic and tactic, keeping the ball away from the opponent, the Spanish team went throughout the tournament by conceding just one goal. So they get the opportunity to be called the most defensive team in a new way. They showed the world the new way of defense is actually just possess the ball.